Hi, this is Caleb from Adact, and as you may have heard, then if you have your own demo booth set up in StartupDay 2022, then we will provide you with free access to our software for the duration of StartupDay. So what you get out from it is the ability to create different kinds of engaging and interactive and gamified ways to interact with people who visit your booth. They can be anywhere, anything from lead generation or brand awareness, but also to help your visitors decide on different kinds of products, give you feedback, but also if you wish, you can create some raffles like digital Wheel of Fortunes or scratch cards. In this video, I'll go over briefly what the software is about, what can you do, and what can the end results be and look like. So once you manage to log into the software, you can start by creating your new campaign by clicking here. Here is the overview of all the different campaigns that Adact has to offer, but they're largely categorized in three main categories. So number one, we have those questionnaires where you can either ask some questions from your audience, or you can also ask just feedback or ask about your audience preferences. So if you would want to have more of a knowledge test, then you can use like a Jeopardy or a trivia game where you give out specific amount of points based on how well they answer. But you can also do a personality test where you kind of find out which specific things will suit your visitor the best. And then there are also like more creative ways to get feedback or preferences, like a battle game where your audience will choose between two options which they prefer most, or a swipe ball where they do the same thing but just by swiping left or right. At the end you will get a leaderboard of the most popular choices. Then we also have our kind of bread and butter, which are the competitive games. So these are actual playable games that you can find in Play Store, like Candy Crush or Whack-A-Mole or like an Endless Runner games. But you can quickly and very effortlessly brand it to your own design. So you can create competitions around those games where you will have your leaderboards and people will try to get the best score. Then, as the last main category are the lotteries and raffles. So if you want to create any sort of raffling, then you can do it by choosing any of the game types here, like Wheel of Fortune, scratch cards, open the box, if there's just like a prize behind the box, and also like a Plinko, where the ball drops to a specific prize. To create any of those campaigns, you can just click on it and initially just choose the default settings and we'll take it from there. So once you've chosen any of the game that you want to create, then you're redirected to the actual editor of creating the game and the landing page around it. So on the first view or first screen, you see everything related to editing the game options themselves. So in Trivia, for example, on the right, you will see the Trivia game preview that you can test around. And on the left, you can edit the questions by clicking here, or you can add new questions that appear in your Trivia game. You can also, in this game, set up your specific visuals for the game, which are just basically options that you can do here. So if you would want to have any other colors for the option background, then you can just change the colors from here. So every game has their own user interface, but we've tried very hard to make it as kind of self-explanatory as possible. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but definitely if you have decided on any of the games, then you can write to me and I'll help you guide through how to actually set up the game. So the second option is the campaign. So how those campaigns work is we provide you with your own custom URL where you then redirect people to. So this is the URL that is either opened in your laptop or opened in a tablet if you have one, or you can also have like a QR code where people scan, then they are taken to this landing page. So for example, this campaign that I'm editing right now has this link. So if I will go here, then this is where the campaign will happen. But as you can see, everything is like Adact design, so we would want to change this design as well. To do that, you can edit everything from the campaign section. So on the first tab, you can edit the backgrounds, which you can just upload new images from here. On the second tab, you have your content, which means all of the texts, images, registration forms that is visible on the landing page. So this content requires a little bit more delving into, but the overall idea is whatever you want to change, initially you can just click on any of the text parts or any of the elements here, and on the left the appropriate kind of editor for this element opens up. If you want to change the text, you can just start by changing the text here. All of those modifications that you do are also updated in real time on the landing page. So you can kind of see and preview how it actually looks like. You can also add new elements by clicking on the add button here, or you can delete elements that you do not wish to use. There's also a possibility to only have the game screen without any registration form. You can have the registration form after the game if you wish to. All of those options can be edited from here. But if you require any specific setup, then firstly, I'll advise you to go through the wizard. But secondly, if that doesn't kind of answer all of your questions, then again, write to me and let's get it set up together. So you can also have all the prizes. If you want to give out any prizes there, you can have them here by adding all the new prizes that you wish to distribute. You can have them as instantly won, and you can have criteria of this prize is won if they get specific amounts of points. Or you can also add prizes as raffles, meaning you add the prize and after the campaign is ended, then you will raffle out these prizes between all the participants. So I'll now be showing you how a client of ours created an entire campaign from scratch to finish in just a couple of minutes. So they created a new campaign and chose a match 3 as their campaign. So you can see then on the right how the campaign looks and feels with the default settings. Of course, you will want to have your own icons to be inside the game, so you will have to just replace all of those icons from here. You can do it by updating the icons and dragging your own icons to the software. Now, it doesn't really matter how large or small the icons are, the game resizes it itself, and you can already see that during the uploading, the game already updates itself as well. So you can have more or less icons, and you can also change other variables in the game as well. So you can change the field size, the score panel design, the game background, and some additional game rules. Now that the game is matched with their own branding, you also would want to change the campaign background as well. So in the campaign, you can go to campaign background and just upload your own background image. Now you can change and add some animations. You can change the design of this entire content area from here. And you can also then, you should want to replace Adact logos with your own logos. So by clicking on the Adact logo here, then on the left, it opens up the image setup. So you can update this to your own logo. Now, as you can see, the image is very large, so we can just set the size to be a little bit smaller. And you can also change other properties here as well, like margins and make it clickable and so on. In the same manner, you can change the text just by clicking on the text to change it to something else. And with the registration forms, you can also click on here to change what do you want to ask. So on here, it's the second option, fields. Here you can specify, do you want to ask for phone numbers, emails, countries, full names, and anything else. So in this case, they didn't want to use a full name, but they wanted to use a leaderboard name that is public and shown on the leaderboard. So you can also reorder those properties here, and if you wish to redesign it, then go to form style, and then here are all the design changes. For example, getting rid of the background and adding a black border on the bottom. Now this campaign actually is already ready to be tested. Last part will go to settings and rename the URL to something more convenient, and then publish the campaign. By publishing the campaign, it now starts to collect analytics. So if I will go to this link here, then this is the same campaign that we just created, where we are asking for an email and leaderboard name. And this is the same design that we just created in just a couple of minutes. So that's how our clients use Adact to create very quickly some interactive and engaging gamification marketing campaigns. Once your campaign is ready, published, and live, then we'll start tracking real-time analytics as well. You'll know exactly how many unique leads were generated, how many games were started, what's the average duration of those gameplays, the bounce rates, and so on. If you have like a trivia game, you also know exactly how each individual person answered as well. Now, initially, this data gets stored in your Adact account. If you want to, you can also use Zapier to integrate it with any other CRM or other software that you want to integrate with. Or you can also request the file to be exported as an Excel file from here. So this was a very brief overview on what Adact even is and how can you use it during Startup Day conference. So I advise you, once you get your account, then explore around a little bit, bounce around some ideas that you would want to use, but also feel free to get in touch with me to go through some of the ideas and other examples that other companies have been doing to get some inspiration, and we're happy to kind of help you set the campaign up and make sure everything is working as well. So thank you from me, and see you in Startup Day.